Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. In this video, we're going to talk about reflected cross-site scripting, and specifically, we're actually going to fix some of the vulnerabilities in Glassminnow. If you haven't been following the channel, I've been working on a PHP app that I wrote several years ago. Didn't really do any security testing on it, and a few weeks ago, I ran a security test on it for the first time, and it came back with 879 security issues, many of which were cross-site scripting. So that's going to be a big part of what we're going to be focusing on fixing in the coming weeks. And this video is part one of a three-part video on reflected cross-site scripting. So in this video, we're going to look at some cross-site scripting that has to do with how URLs are constructed and how the application is handling URLs that are used to get to various parts within the application. In the next video, we'll kind of take a step back and look at that from a framework perspective, because it turns out that some of these vulnerabilities are actually due to the MVC framework that Glassminnow is built on. And then in the third video, we'll look at kind of what you might think of as the traditional cross-site scripting vulnerability, where you type some script tags into a form field and then submit the form, and you get the script to execute. So in each of these videos, I will show what the security scan found, and then I will show how to actually recreate that XSS vulnerability in the application, and then we'll go about fixing the vulnerability. So let's get started. So to start with, and I realize this is very small, so I'll zoom in a minute. But we're going to start with this first one, and what it's saying is that at this URL, it determined that, well, it says this parameter, but if I remember correctly, this is actually, it sets the path to something a little bit different. So /account/password, and then that script. So let's just start with that. Let's copy this, and I think it got a few extra characters, but we'll go over here to the URL. Yeah, it did get a few extra characters. So let me adjust that. So this is the URL that we're going to go to. And I believe what it's saying is that we get this script alert to show up. So it actually runs this script and should show us a pop-up with 175 in it. So let's hit enter. And it looks like we probably have to be logged in for this in order to even get to that page. So let's log in real quick. All right. And now let's fix this URL up, or at least to what it was supposed to be. Now it says that this is supposed to be vulnerable. So what it's showing is that it's seeing this, which maybe it is. Let's actually view source and see what's coming back. So that's not what I wanted. There we go, view source. So the URL still has all that jazz in it. And if we go down to here, so it looks like the browser is actually encoding some of this stuff. So that's kind of helpful. I mean, I guess it's cool that this is Edge, by the way. It's cool that Edge URL encodes that stuff. So with that URL encoded, it wouldn't actually turn into a vulnerability. However, we can't necessarily guarantee that all browsers are going to handle it the same way. This is still a bad thing to be showing in the URL. Yes, Tux, you want to be involved in the video? Okay, my cat would like to join us. He would like to learn how to handle cross-site scripting vulnerabilities as well. So we'll let him do that. So the other thing with this is that this page especially, we know the URL. We can figure out the URL. There's really no reason for us to be populating it based on this what the URL that shows up in the browser. So let's actually find this page. So account/password, and I think there's a possibility that this is actually in a library. So we might have to edit the library as well. So let me bump the font size up here a little bit and go to the directory, working Glassminnow. Open this up in Visual Studio Code. And we'll want to bump the font size up here too. There we go. All right. So views, what was this, account? Yeah, account doesn't show up here. So I'm willing to bet that it's in vendor, Tails, auth, and views, account. This was forgot, right? This was the forgot password page. And you can see there's a lot of logic here. This is, I mentioned in a previous video, this is a heavily modified version of a library called UserPy that was kind of massaged into the Pales format. UserPy had a lot of logic in each of the views. It wasn't really constructed in the model view controller pattern. So when I massaged it into an MVC style, I started by just taking the individual pages and putting them in views. So a lot of these views have the exact same logic as it should probably go in the controller, but it's in the view for now. So here's the culprit right here, right? We're just echoing out server request URI. But we know that this should actually be account/forgot. Right? Now, what I just did is bad. Number one, notice that this is grayed out. This means it's actually ignored. It's in my get ignore file. So even if I change it here, there's nothing to commit. There's nothing to commit to the Glassminnow repository because this file is ignored by Git. Secondly, it's part of a library. So I shouldn't edit it here. I should actually go to the library and fix that. So let's go over there and go to Pales auth, which I already have pulled down. Let's open that up in Visual Studio Code as well. And let's close some of these. So now views, account, forgot. That's that same file. So scroll all the way to the bottom. And this is what we're going to take out. This is going to be account/forgot. And we'll save that. And commit that. We'll say use known path to forgot password form. Push and we'll actually tag it. We'll give it an actual tag so that we can use it in Glassminnow. So git tag v1.4.4 git push -- tags. And now that that's pushed, we can go to packagist and make sure that Pales auth is updated. In just a second, we should see version 1.4.4 show up there. Okay, that's good. Now let's go back to Glassminnow. We'll close that. Go down to our composer.json file and Pales auth, we'll say 1.4.4 because that's what we really need to be secure. So then composer update. And it's grabbing Pales auth 1.4.4, the one we just uploaded. There we go. It is now updated rather. And if we go over to that forgot file, we'll see /account/forgot. That's what we want. So with that, we can just try running the code again. So go over to our dev environment and we'll run that. And if we pull up the source, because again, we weren't able to actually exercise the issue, that is not right. That should not be showing up anymore. Okay, so now I feel really dumb. So what actually happened was while we were editing the account/forgot page, and there was that vulnerability there, where the vulnerability was actually being reported was on this page, account/password. So let's go down there. You can see right here. Let's change that. While we're here, let's see if there's any other forms that are using that. Looks like we've got it in 4 places. So resend. So this is account/resend. So let's fix that, account/resend. And then here, what is this? Session login. Session/session/login. And then here, this is /user/register. /user/register. And that should be all of them. Let's just double check our work, make sure we're not doing anything stupid, like forgetting to save a file. That would be important. Okay, there we go. We've got 4 changes. So password, we changed from server request URI to /account/password. That lines up with what this file is. Resend, /account/resend, account resend. Yep, looks good. Login, this is /session/login. That looks good there. Then register, user/register, user/register. Okay, we are good to go. So now let's, yes, I do realize that I could commit from right there, but let's just commit from here. Request URI in form actions. Now, another thing that I could have done, because one of the nice things about the way browsers work is if you don't specify an action, it will post the form back to the same URL, and that works for this application. I could just leave the action out. Long term, that's actually probably a better solution, just in case these pages move around at all. But for now, this will work, and this fixes the fixes what we're looking at. So let's add a tag and push the tags. Let's just push everything as well, because I don't think I pushed before that. Yep. Okay, there we go. Now we have to go back over to packages and update. All right, 145, that looks good. Let's go back to Glassminnow and change this to 145. Save, update, and in just a second, there we go. We are updated. We can go back to here. This is the account password page. Let me bump up. There we go. The font size. All right, so now if we refresh, we still have all this nonsense in the URL, but if we go over here and view source, /account/password. Perfect. Okay, that is one of the vulnerabilities that we have going on here. The next one is in a slightly different place, and it's on the opportunities page. And this one is a little bit different because it actually shows up in a lot of A tags. So I don't know that this is actually going to trigger anything in the browser, but it's still something bad and still something we should be fixing. And this is actually something that is in Glassminnow, so we can fix this without going into a library. So it'll be a lot quicker. So this is in /admin/opportunities. So let's jump over here. /admin/opportunities. So this is what the page looks like. And I think these are in these links up here. I think that's where the issue is. It might be in these links all the way at the top. Let's see what it did. And it's the same thing, set path to the original URL plus a bunch of stuff. So let's copy all of this. And let me remove some of the extra characters. There we go. There's our URL. That's what we're going to send. Still nothing shows up. No script actually gets executed. But if we view source, we should be able to see, yep, here we go. Here's all the stuff that it put in there. And it looks like, for whatever reason, we're sending a bunch of cookies too. That's probably something that we should remove. So let's see what's going on here. So this is admin opportunities. Let's jump back to Visual Studio Code. So views, admin. It's interesting. I'm not sure what opportunities actually uses. So let's go to admin controller. Let's see what, if we go to opportunities, here we go. Opportunities, and it's using admin upcoming as the view. So go back down to views, admin upcoming. This is cool. Echo query string. So now this is actually very interesting because this doesn't look quite like what we're looking at, but I think it's actually something different. Event delivery date. Where is that coming from? So event delivery date is not from here. It's either in this partial event calendar or event list. I'm betting event list. So it's down here, an event list, and this self URI. This looks like it's where it's coming from. Event delivery date. Yep. So self URI. So what is going on in self URI? So this is still an admin controller, right? So do we have a self URI? We don't have a self URI. Extends Pales controller. Oh, this should be interesting. So Pales lib controller. Is there a self URI here? Self URI. No. Let's see if we can find where this is coming from. Self URI. Here we go. Affiliate trait. Okay, here we go. Self URI. So it is part of Glassminnow. That's good. So it's not part of Pales core, so we don't have to go through the dance we did before with the updating a library and then having to pull it in. So what is going on here? That's probably bad. The $request super global pulls in not only get, not only post, but also cookie. That's bad. We shouldn't have that. So probably what we want is just get. Let's start with that. I really don't like the idea of pulling in post as well. And probably what I'd really like to do is extend this function. I'm actually going to add a to-do here, mainly because I'm not going to do it in this video. I can go on a diatribe about are to-dos good, are to-dos bad. I do use to-dos. Unfortunately, very rarely do I actually get them to done. But such is life. Okay, so to-do, add an allow list of valid parameters to retain from get and post. So, but basically what this function is doing is it's pulling in that array that gets passed in and merging it with what comes in from the query string. Yeah, again, not really not a huge fan of this function, but it's part of the code right now, so let's just make it secure, right? Okay, so we'll start with that, and with a to-do of that. Who knows? With the change that I made here, it may still show up on a security scan. And in fact, I think it will. I think it already does. And I think that it's this one here. So if I'm looking at admin past events, which is actually, it's basically the same page. If I change the view, if I change the view parameter, weird things happen. Yeah, if I change the view parameter, it to something that isn't valid, it populates weirdly. So we'll actually fix that in a second. But this other thing is, I think it said it added a parameter with a value, and that was included. So it does show up on a security scan, but this is I don't know. We'll see. I'll record it, and depending on how long the video is getting, you might get a bonus fix. All right, so let's start with this, and then we'll come back and see what we can do. Okay, so with that change, I did save. Go back to view source. These should be a lot shorter. Yeah. Okay. So now we still have the script in the URL. Right. That's what we were fixing. Okay. Return server request URI. Ooh. Let's see how many places are we using this. Let's it's a few. So let's actually set this to base. Let's add a parameter here. Base URL. Base URI. And let's give it a default of I would really like to do this, but let's see if we can actually do this. That's not what I want. Server request URI. Yeah, it's gonna yell at me because this is not a constant. Yep, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And then here we'll just do base URI equals, you know what? Yeah, okay, well, we'll start with this. We'll start with this and go from here. So base URI equals base URI or that. Basically, what this will allow us to do is use base URI here, base URI here. Now, what I really want to do, let's get our semicolons in order. There we go. What I really want to do is I actually want to make base URI required and put it at the beginning. There we go. Okay. And that means that for all these, we need to add a base URI. I'm not going to worry about everything else here except for event list. This is the one we care about right now. So off camera, I'll go and fix the other ones. But this one, we need a base URI of this is also going to cause a problem because we don't necessarily know what page we're coming from. This is going to be frustrating. I'm actually going to complete this off camera, but you can trust me that I will do it, and that's what's going to happen. So now, second thing, let's go through. Where is that affiliate tree? Let's add an allow list here, right? So allow list equals nothing. So basically, what we want to do is grab only items from the allow list from get/post. We can actually probably do request, but let's just do. Let's see. Okay, so params, right? And we want to grab from get and then override with params, right? So if params is greater than 0, we need to basically, instead of having get here, we need to have current values. That sounds like a good name. And then current value, let's do for allowed key. I am not writing C#. I'm running PHP. Allow list as allowed key. Current values allowed key. We need current values to actually be an array. Allowed key equals, let's start with if is set get allowed key, right? Allowed key. Then just copy it over. And remember our semicolons. That's not the right button. There we go. And if is set post, we'll say that post overrides get. I think that makes sense. Allowed key. And then it's basically this line, but with get change to post. And what is it yelling at? Unexpected as for each. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Right? That should fix that other issue. Yeah, so let's test this out. Obviously, with the base URI requirement there, it's going to break in some other places, or it's not really going to construct the URL we're looking for. But that should at least fix if we add a variable here. So like something like appscan equals, and I'm just going to put nonsense. Hit enter, and before, oh come on, where now I can't find that code. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Okay, still order, start date, direction, ascending. Cool. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see the other issue that we were going to. Is that what I did? Yeah, the allow list. Yep. Okay. So with that, obviously there are a few rough edges here that I'm not going to bore you with the details of. I'm going to probably do a little bit of re-architecture, a little bit of refactoring, but at the very least, this solves these couple issues when it comes to URLs with cross-site scripting. So with that, I'm going to end the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, even though it's probably, this video is getting very long. If you lasted till the end, props to you. Thank you for sticking it out till the end. Thank you for watching this video, and if you've been watching the entire series, I greatly appreciate that. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Click that thumbs up button, click the notification bell so you'll be notified when future videos come out. And leave a comment down below if you have any questions on this. Like I said, there are 2 more videos in this little mini series here. So stay tuned for those. Those will probably be coming out tomorrow and the following day. So check those out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.